Picture this. The year is 1850. Life is simple, yet incredibly demanding. The village is quiet, with cobblestone streets and horse-drawn carriages. The air is crisp, and the scent of fresh earth fills your lungs. You wake up, but there's no snooze button, no coffee maker. The room is dimly lit by the first light of dawn seeping through the small window. You stretch and yawn, knowing that the day ahead will be long and filled with hard work. Just the insistent crowing of a rooster outside your window. That's your alarm clock. The rooster's call is a signal that the day has begun, and there's no time to waste. By 5 a.m. you're out of bed and already tending to the farm. Cows need milking, chickens need feeding, and crops need tending. The morning chores are a routine, but they are essential for the survival of the farm. It's a full-time job, and everyone pitches in, even the little ones. Children learn the value of hard work early on, helping with tasks suited to their age and strength. The family works as a unit, each member playing a crucial role. Why all the fuss about farming? It's not just about growing food, it's about sustaining life, providing for the family, and ensuring that the community thrives. Well, it was the heart and soul of village life. The farm was the center of the community, a place where people gathered, shared stories, and supported each other. About 70% of folks depended on it for their livelihood. Farming was more than an occupation. It was a tradition passed down through generations, a way of life that defined the community. It wasn't just a job, it was a way of life, a connection to the land and the changing seasons. Each season brought its own set of challenges and rewards, from planting in the spring to harvesting in the fall. The rhythm of the farm was in sync with nature, and the farmers were its stewards. Let's talk houses. Don't imagine sprawling mansions. We're talking 1 or 2 rooms max. And you thought your apartment was small. Families were big back then. 5 or more kids weren't unusual. So, yeah, privacy was a rare and precious commodity. But here's the thing. Even in those cramped quarters there was a lot of love. Families ate together, worked together, and celebrated together. Sure, there were squabbles. Imagine sharing a room with 5 siblings. But there was also a strong sense of togetherness that's hard to find these days. Education in the 1800s? Let's just say it wasn't top priority. Only about 40% of kids went to school, and even then, many only stayed until they were 10. Schoolhouses were basic, often just one room with a single teacher for all ages. So, how did kids learn? From the best teachers around, their parents and grandparents. They learned by doing, by working alongside their elders in the fields, kitchens, and workshops. It was a hands-on education, and it taught them the skills they needed to survive and thrive in their community. Feeling under the weather? Well, forget about popping a pill or seeing a specialist. Doctors were scarce in villages, and hospitals were even rarer. Most folks relied on home remedies passed down through generations. Herbs, poultices, and a good dose of rest were the go-to cures for everything from a sniffle to a broken bone. Was it effective? Sometimes, but it was all they had, and they placed their faith in the healing power of nature and tradition. Forget about cars, trains, or even paved roads. In the 1800s, transportation meant one thing: putting in the miles on foot. If you were lucky, you might have a horse and cart, but even then, journeys were slow and bumpy. A trip to the nearest town could take hours, even days. It made you appreciate the simple things, like a comfortable pair of shoes and a good hat to keep the sun off your face. And forget about online shopping. Everything you needed had to be made locally or transported over long distances. Section 6. Community cravings, harvest festivals, and gossip sessions. Life in a village wasn't all work and no play. In fact, social gatherings were the glue that held these communities together. Harvest festivals, church socials, and even just gathering around the well for a good gossip session. These were the highlights of village life. These gatherings were a chance to catch up with neighbors, share stories, and let loose after a long week of work. They were a reminder that even in a small village, you were part of something bigger than yourself. Section 7. Stepping back in time, villages frozen in history. Want to experience village life firsthand? Well, hop in a time machine and head back to the 1800s. Or, visit one of the many well-preserved villages and towns around the world that offer a glimpse into the past. Places like Colonial Williamsburg in the US, Beamish Museum in England, or Sovereign Hill in Australia are like stepping back in time. You can walk down cobblestone streets, visit authentic homes and shops, and even interact with costumed interpreters who bring history to life. Section 8. From Convicts to Thriving Communities: Unexpected Village Life. Who would have thought that convicts would offer a unique perspective on village life? The story of early Australian settlements is a fascinating one, filled with unexpected twists and turns. These settlements were initially established as penal colonies, where convicts were sent to serve their sentences. But over time they evolved into thriving communities. In early colonial Australia, convict settlements, while not your typical villages, showcased the resourcefulness of the time. The convicts, many of whom were skilled laborers, played a crucial role in building the infrastructure of these settlements. They constructed roads, bridges, and buildings, laying the foundation for what would become modern Australia. These weren't just prisons, they were budding communities. The convicts, along with free settlers, created a unique social fabric. They established schools, churches, and marketplaces, transforming the penal colonies into vibrant communities. The resilience and ingenuity of these early settlers are truly remarkable. Convicts weren't always breaking rocks. They were involved in a variety of tasks that required different skills. Some worked as blacksmiths, carpenters, and stonemasons, while others took on roles such as clerks, cooks, and even pub owners. Their contributions were essential to the development of the settlements. Some were skilled laborers, clerks, cooks, even pub owners. These individuals brought their expertise and knowledge to the settlements, helping to create a sense of normalcy and community. Their skills were highly valued, and they often found themselves in positions of responsibility and trust. Their housing, while basic, often had multiple rooms, reflecting the standard of the era. These homes were built using local materials and traditional construction methods. They provided shelter and a sense of stability for the convicts and their families. They even had furniture, cooked meals, and gardens. The convicts and settlers grew their own food, raised livestock, and maintained gardens. These activities not only provided sustenance but also a sense of purpose and accomplishment. The interiors of their homes were modest but functional, with handmade furniture and simple decor. It's a reminder that even in the harshest of circumstances, people found ways to build a life. The story of these early Australian settlements is a testament to the resilience and determination of the human spirit. Despite the challenges they faced, the convicts and settlers created thriving communities that laid the foundation for modern Australia. Their legacy lives on in the towns and cities that we know today. Section 9. Hard work, simple joys, and the spirit of resilience. Life in a small village in the 1800s was no walk in the park. The daily grind was relentless, and every member of the community had a role to play. From dawn till dusk, the villagers were engaged in various tasks that ensured their survival and well-being. The fields needed tending, the animals required care, and the homes had to be maintained. There was no room for idleness, as every moment was precious and every task was crucial. It was hard work, plain and simple, the kind of work that left your hands calloused and your body weary. Yet there was a certain satisfaction that came from seeing the fruits of one's labor. The harvest season in particular was a time of both immense effort and great reward. Families would come together to gather the crops, knowing that their hard work would sustain them through the harsh winter months. But it was also a time of strong community bonds, simple pleasures, and a deep connection to nature and tradition. The villagers found joy in the little things, a shared meal, a festive gathering, or a quiet evening by the fire. These moments of togetherness were cherished, providing a sense of belonging and mutual support. The community was like an extended family where everyone looked out for one another. So next time you're feeling stressed about your Wi-Fi connection or your overflowing inbox, take a deep breath and remember, it could be worse. Imagine living in a time when there were no modern conveniences and every task required physical effort. The villagers faced numerous challenges, from unpredictable weather to limited medical knowledge. Yet they persevered, relying on their resilience and resourcefulness to overcome obstacles. You could be up at dawn, milking a cow, and hoping your home remedies do the trick. The daily chores were demanding, and there was no escaping them. Each day began with the rising sun, and ended only when the last task was completed. The villagers had to be self-sufficient, often relying on traditional knowledge passed down through generations to solve problems and care for their families. The people of the 1800s remind us that even in the face of challenges, there's always room for resilience, ingenuity, and maybe even a good laugh around the well. Their spirit of perseverance and their ability to find joy in the simplest of things is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. So, the next time you find yourself overwhelmed by modern life's demands, take a moment to reflect on the past and draw inspiration from those who came before us. Their legacy of hard work, simple joys, and unwavering resilience continues to inspire us today.